between Java and JavaScript?
Yeah, for sure. The difference between Java and JavaScript. So Java is typically a statically typed object-oriented programming language, primarily used for like backends and apps and stuff. JavaScript is dynamically typed scripting language, and it's like creating interactive elements and client-side web development.
Is going to replace 92 million jobs. And everyone's like, don't worry about it, just develop new skills. But there's a huge problem. So the big report that came out about this was basically there are 3 new skills that you have to master if you want to survive in the new job climate. Carbon intelligence, virtual intelligence, and AI proficiency. Q, what do any of those mean? How do you measure those skills? I'm calling BS on this, guys. I think that there's going to be a huge talent gap and nobody's going to know how to fill it. So yeah, what skills? Beats me.
They're not warning you enough about what's really happening out there. AI isn't just coming for jobs. It's already here, and most people don't even see it. The World Economic Forum predicts that 83 million jobs will vanish in the next 2 years, and that number is likely conservative. White-collar careers, law, accounting, finance, marketing, they are being automated faster than factory lines everywhere. Okay, think about this. Decades of education wiped out by an algorithm trained for pennies on the dollar. Companies don't need loyalty anymore. They don't need your years of experience. They need efficiency, and AI delivers it without asking for weekends off, healthcare, or even a paycheck. Every day you keep your head down, hoping that you'll be safe, you're actually falling further behind. Because when the wave hits your role, it won't be gradual. It'll be instant. One morning, you'll walk in and find out that you have been replaced by code.
Today I hung out with some pretty high up people at Microsoft, and what they're saying about AI is scary. They told us that in their own meetings, their exec team said that in the next 3 to 5 years, most of them will be without jobs. And we're already seeing it, massive layoffs at all these companies. But what does that mean for regular people like you and me? Because if the smartest people in the world, people that work at Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, are already doing these massive layoffs, and don't tell me that the trades are safe. People said at CES that they saw a robot that could pick up a potato chip with its fingers. We're already seeing robots do surgery. You're telling me that it can't swing a hammer? Like, we are screwed. And what does that mean for regular people like us? We only have 3 to 5 years to build wealth. It's already hard enough for somebody without wealth to break into wealth, but it's going to be even harder when there's no jobs available, when information is readily available and implementation. The rich are going to get richer and the poor. So if you've been waiting to start that side hustle, if you've been waiting to do something with your life, you don't have time. I'm not trying to scare people. I'm just trying to tell you what the smartest people in the world are already realizing and already doing and adjusting. I hope you do too, because I know I am.
So we've all been making fun of unemployed people. Meanwhile, experts are saying that in 2 years, AI will be able to automate 99% of tasks on computers. So unemployment's going to go 50, 60% on the conservative side. 5 years after that, they're going to have robots that can do most labor jobs. So now we're talking unemployment 90, maybe even more than 90%. So maybe those unemployed people are just pre-firing the world that we're about to go into. Maybe they're actually the smart ones. Sam Altman, the CEO of ChatGPT, said, this is a quote, AI will probably cause the end of the world, but until then, they'll make some pretty good companies. What? Oh yeah, like it's just going to destroy humanity, but you know, for the time that we have left, you know, make some pretty good businesses. We're fucked. I mean, that's the reality that we're in. I'm graduating college this semester, and job market's not looking good. Job market's not looking good. Think about all these people that have worked so hard for their careers, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good you are. AI is cheaper, faster, and more efficient. Like, we're all cooked. Hi, my name is Jed. This is day 80 of the Higher Up Wellness Public Speaking Challenge.
You guys, with the number of people that were laid off in January and how quickly AI is advancing, it looks like we're entering a point of no return, as in governments may have to introduce universal basic income because there may not be enough jobs for all of us to work. So if you do have a job right now, now is not the time to quit. Please hold on to it with everything that you have. And if you have any sort of income available to you, whether it's like a side hustle or driving Uber, use it. Use your skills now to make as much money as you can while you still can. because the world as we know it, meaning pre-AI, looks like it's just not going to be coming back ever. So this isn't to make you panic, it's to help you start preparing.
New York just became the first state to require employers to disclose if they have let people go because of artificial intelligence. This is actually pretty interesting. So it's a checkbox on a termination form, and bosses basically have to tell you, like, hey, a chatbot is not going to do your job. Probably most importantly, it includes a 90-day notice and retraining. So instead of workers being blindsided, arguably they can take the time and prepare for, get some new skills, do a different job. No other state has done this yet, but there are a few employment lawyers, basically saying that New York leads in worker protection and other states are going to follow. So should companies have to tell you when AI is replacing your job? Interested to know what everybody thinks.
I don't think this is true. Let me tell you my story. It just happened this week. So Friday afternoon, your boss wants to jump on Zoom at the last minute. Be prepared that something's going on. So I kind of had been having this feeling for weeks. My boss had been talking about how much he's been using AI and how productive it's made him on development tasks. And then yesterday afternoon, we got on a call and he said that my position is no longer needed. He said, I've been doing everything I should be doing. They can't afford the position anymore. So I am out of a job, and it is because of AI. I 100% know that. But before you keep moving, if you could help me out with one small thing, it would mean the world to me. If you could either just like this post or comment on it, or perhaps share it with somebody, and share it with someone very specific, which is a family with kids. And the reason is, for the last year, I've been working on a passion project for my kids specifically, and I've seen a noticeable difference in their ability to do their homework. It's turning from a passion project into my 100% focus. And so I've made a change today, actually, to do summer pricing. So it's incredibly cheap for the summer. And I also have created like a workbook style daily activity where our kids can stay active during the summer, keep learning, kind of progress them into the next grade. That's kind of the big thing. And it's $20 for the whole summer for up to 3 kids. So it's pretty much free. But it would just be huge for me if you could share this with somebody, or if you have kids yourself, sign up, give it a try, and let me know what you think. All right. Hope you guys are doing good out there, and I'll see you around.
So I was laid off from my corporate job making $200 grand a year. So I'm going to go ahead and expose the AI companies and what their plan is. First thing you need to understand is the different stages of AI. First and foremost, you have stage 1, which is just general AI, Gen AI. That is like your ChatGPT. You throw in an input, it gives you an answer. Pretty basic. Now, the second one is called agentic AI, and that is the one that is able to replicate all the things you do. This is what is taking most people's jobs right now. This is kind of the hot topic, but there's 2 more stages. The next one is artificial general intelligence. This is essentially AI having a brain. It can predict and forecast, and it's essentially learned enough from all of us that it's able to perform duties and forecast and pretty much get things done on its own. This tech actually exists right now. However, it is not available to the public, but there are companies that are, well, let's just say I won't mention them, that are using it. And then lastly, there's superintelligence. Superintelligence is like the ultimate form of AI. This is like the Terminator scene where they kind of have a brain of their own. They create their own ecosystems and essentially kind of take over. There's also some debates as to whether that exists currently or not. Just being in some meetings, I will tell you, it does. The issue with all of this is that it is very, very massive to run all of this hardware, and it is extremely power intensive. That is why they keep talking about all these, different water resources being drained, all these data centers going up. This is the future. They will be pulling from these data centers. They will be draining the water supply to run these super intelligence, super gen AI type of machines. If you're one of those people that says, oh, ChatGPT will never take my job, it's not ChatGPT. That stuff that they've given you access to that you think is so cool isn't even scratching the surface. Right now, if you have any sort of job that can be replicated, if something can look at your screen and copy what you're doing and learn how to do that, you will be replaced within the next few years. So my advice is get ahead of it, start something on your own, go into home services, something manual labor, consulting, coaching, lean into that more. That is the future, and AI will handle most of the mundane tasks that we have. Now, there's a ton of theories as to why the the government or the world is letting AI kind of just get off the rails. But my opinion and what I've seen is that they want to separate the income gap. Right now, there's a lower, a middle, and an elite class. The elite class does not like the middle class creeping up into it. You saw it with COVID. Tons of people made money with crypto and all these different things. They're tired of that. They don't want you there. So their plan essentially is to create the wealth gap, and they want to push out the middle class and just have two separate classes. That is just what I believe and what I've seen. You can get into all the different conspiracies surrounding it and New World Order and all the different stuff that happened, but that is essentially the plan. That is why they're letting this just run off the rails. There's really no governance behind any of this. You can pretty much start up a company and develop and research any kind of AI you want without really any sort of oversight. So all I'm saying is just get ahead of it. You'll be in a better place for doing so.
One of my friends who works at Google just told me that Google quietly announced that their developers can actually quit their jobs and get a 4-month severance package if they choose to. They call it the voluntarily layoffs. The reason for it is because they don't need as many developers since Gemini 3 can produce much better code. So if you're a software engineer, you better have a pivot in the next 2 or 3 years before AI takes over.